This is a 10-minute video of the book Empire of Pain by Patrick Radden Keefe. This video was created by BookTube and will be narrated by Michael Johnson in 4 parts. Sit back and enjoy. Part 1. The Rise of the Sacklers.
In the heart of post-war New York, 3 brothers, Arthur, Mortimer, and Raymond Sackler, stood on the threshold of a venture that would change the face of medicine and pain management forever. Rooted in a humble beginning, the Sackler brothers' journey was fueled by an insatiable curiosity for medicine and a keen business acumen, setting the foundation for their future empire. With their eyes set on a greater prize, the Sacklers ventured into uncharted territory, acquiring a little-known company, Purdue Pharma, a decision that marked the beginning of an era. The path to success was paved with challenges. At Purdue Pharma, the Sacklers faced their trials with innovative solutions, pushing the boundaries of pharmaceutical marketing. Behind the success, the Sackler family dynamics played out, a complex tapestry of ambition, loyalty, and strained relationships, each member carving their own path under the family name. In the boardrooms of Purdue Pharma, the Sacklers charted a bold course, envisioning a future where their company would stand at the pinnacle of the pharmaceutical industry. The Sacklers' relentless pursuit of success soon bore fruit. Their first major pharmaceutical breakthrough placed them on the map, earning them acclaim in the medical community. As Purdue Pharma grew, so did the ethical dilemmas. The brothers found themselves at a crossroads, balancing the fine line between ambition and moral responsibility. With each passing day, the Sackler empire grew, their influence seeping deeper into the pharmaceutical world. Unbeknownst to them, the seeds of a future crisis were being sown. In the quiet before the storm, whispers of concern began to surface. The Sacklers stood at the helm of Purdue Pharma, unaware that the tides were about to turn.
Part 2. The Development of OxyContin.
In the hushed corridors of Purdue Pharma's labs, a new chapter began. The creation of OxyContin marked the dawn of a new epoch in pain relief, one that promised to rewrite the narrative of suffering. With OxyContin in their arsenal, the Sacklers faced their next challenge, winning the FDA's approval. Armed with persuasion and promises, they embarked on a mission to gain the trust of the highest drug regulatory authority. The launch of OxyContin was a spectacle of medical ambition. It was not just a product release, it was the unveiling of a hopeful vision for millions plagued by pain. The wheels of Purdue Pharma's marketing machine began to turn, spinning a web of influence that reached every corner of the medical community. OxyContin was not merely sold, it was fervently evangelized. In clinics and homes across the nation, OxyContin began to write its story. For many, it was a tale of relief and newfound hope. For others, the first faint lines of a darker narrative emerged. As the sales of OxyContin skyrocketed, Purdue Pharma basked in its success. The Sacklers had achieved a triumph that reshaped their company's destiny and their own. But beneath the surface of success, warning signs flickered. Quiet voices within Purdue Pharma hinted at a looming crisis, one that threatened to shatter the idyllic facade of OxyContin. Endorsements from the medical community bolstered OxyContin's image, adding layers of trust and authority. Purdue Pharma's narrative seemed unassailable as more doctors embraced their pain management revolution. In grand halls and lavish gatherings, the Sacklers celebrated their success, unaware that the legacy they so proudly built was standing on a foundation fraught with impending turmoil.
Part 3. The Opioid Crisis Unfolds.
Across the nation, a grim reality took hold. OxyContin, once hailed as a beacon of hope, now cast a long shadow as stories of addiction and loss began to multiply, echoing the cries of a crisis ignored for too long. In a bold challenge to Purdue Pharma, the first lawsuit emerged, a David against Goliath. It was a signal, a turning of the tide, as voices of suffering sought justice against a pharmaceutical titan. Within the walls of their empire, the Sacklers faced a reckoning. Confronted with a growing outcry, they grappled with a narrative slipping from their control, a story no longer about triumph, but about accountability. The pen proved mightier as journalists unveiled the hidden truths behind OxyContin. Their exposés shed light on the depths of the crisis, igniting public outrage and challenging the once unassailable reputation of the Sacklers. From city streets to rural homes, the opioid epidemic left its mark. Families broken, futures stolen, communities in despair. The cost of a nationwide addiction was tallied in lives, not just dollars. In the hallowed halls of Congress, Purdue Pharma's executives faced a barrage of questions. Each testimony, a litany of denial and defense, clashed against a growing body of evidence and a nation's cry for answers. Streets echoed with the voices of the betrayed and bereaved. Protests and vigils painted a picture of a nation in mourning, a collective demand for accountability from those who had promised healing. Behind closed doors, the leaders of Purdue Pharma wrestled with a crisis of their own making. As lawsuits mounted, so did the realization that their empire of pain could crumble under the weight of its own deceit. A lone voice emerged from within, a whistleblower daring to expose the truths hidden behind company facades. Their courage lit a beacon, guiding the way to revelations that would shake the very foundations of Purdue Pharma. The floodgates opened, and a deluge of lawsuits poured in. States, counties, families, a united front seeking justice from a company they accused of fueling an epidemic of unprecedented scale.
Part 4. Fallout and Reckoning.
As the legal storm gathered, Purdue Pharma found itself in the eye of a hurricane. Courtrooms became battlegrounds where the consequences of years of unchecked ambition were now being fiercely contested. In the private chambers of the Sackler family, a fortress of defense was being built. Faced with mounting criticism, the family grappled with the stark reality of their crumbling empire, fighting to preserve their legacy. In hushed rooms, where once deals were struck that built an empire, now negotiations of settlements echoed. Each discussion, each offer, was a tacit admission of the empire's waning power, a reluctant bow to the demands of justice. Beyond the legal battles, the true cost of the opioid crisis revealed itself in shattered communities and lives forever altered. It was a tapestry of loss and resilience, a society struggling to heal from a wound inflicted by those it once trusted. The once mighty Purdue Pharma, a titan in the pharmaceutical world, succumbed to the weight of its own misdeeds. Bankruptcy, not just financial but moral, marked the end of an era, a fall from grace that echoed throughout the industry. Amidst the chaos, the Sackler family faced their own inner turmoil. In the seclusion of their estates, they confronted the reality of a legacy tarnished beyond repair, a name once synonymous with philanthropy, now linked forever to pain. In a courtroom charged with emotion, the whistleblower's testimony rang out, a singular voice against a backdrop of corporate power. Their revelations peeled back layers of deceit, lending strength to the chorus of those demanding justice. One by one, the verdicts and settlements were announced, each a statement of accountability, a reckoning for years of negligence. For Purdue Pharma and the Sacklers, these were not just legal defeats, but public indictments. In the aftermath, a nation reflected. Experts, victims, survivors, all pondered the lessons of a tragedy born from greed and neglect. It was a moment of collective introspection, a search for meaning in the ashes of despair. As institutions stripped the Sackler name from their walls, a family grappled with a legacy irrevocably changed. Once heralded as patrons and pioneers, they now stood as symbols of a national tragedy, a stark reminder of the delicate balance between ambition and ethics.
Thank you for watching. For more book summaries like this, follow BookTube and subscribe to our channel.